Welcome back to the Andrea Giovino Show. Continue to subscribe. And today we have a different type of guest, not a criminal, that's for sure. We have Amanda Chinkan. She is a nutritional therapist. And we also have Toby here with us. Amanda,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so interested in what a nutritional therapist does.
Sure. We do a lot of different things, but most importantly, our focus is like nutrients and how the body actually works and how we can use nutrients to support function and get rid of symptoms and actually heal like issues people have been suffering from for years and years by just resupplying what the body is missing.
It's funny because I've seen several doctors already for eczema, and they've prescribed all kinds of creams, and I've tried creams from TikTok and these all kinds of stuff, and nothing seems to work.
Yeah.
So what would you tell somebody like that?
A few things. So I actually have eczema too, but I've had it under control for like 10 years.
With what?
So I actually use a topical essential oil called Melrose. It's a mixture of rosemary and tea tree oil.
Okay.
But one of the things with eczema in particular is that it's a bacterial issue it's actually a fungal issue that you're having on your skin, and your body normally would be able to like resist that fungus or keep it under control. It's the same thing with dandruff.
I'm wondering if it's coming from my dog, because the dog sleeps with me.
It can be an allergy related
From the
thing
dog.
that's being triggered,
Okay.
but the number one issue that every single person with eczema has is a lack of essential fatty acids. And when you don't convert essential fatty acids the right way in your liver, it won't go to your skin, and your skin is like
So I need to eat more
fish.
fish, and I don't eat fish. It's funny you're saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fish person.
Yeah.
What
So
can I supplement that with, though, if I'm not a fish eater?
honestly, fish is literally the number one source of essential fatty acids,
Okay.
but you can do things like flaxseed. It
Okay.
is very high in essential fats. You can scoop it, put it in a smoothie or something, or put it on top of a salad
Okay.
and have that. That's a really good way to get essential
Flaxseed,
fats. But, and you can also supplement.
Okay.
Most people don't eat anywhere near the amount of fish that we need, especially with like mercury toxin
Yes.
poisoning, whatever. We don't eat enough of it. So the most efficient way to get it is actually to put it in a supplement. So you could do things like cod liver oil,
Okay.
and that will get you essential fats. There's also like a lot of specialty omega supplements that you can use.
Okay.
So you mentioned the liver earlier. I recently had my blood work done. Now I eat pretty healthy. I work out probably 5 to 7 days a week. And I try to live a very clean and good lifestyle. Don't drink a whole lot of alcohol. But ironically, my liver enzymes were slightly elevated. So the concern there is obviously with, fatty liver and... so I've been trying to get that under control with a good diet, but I definitely would like to hear, your opinion on how we would treat, say, the liver. And then we could maybe even go into the kidneys after that.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. So it's really interesting, but in the last, especially in the last 5 years, but in the last 10 years, we've seen a drastic increase of people who have non-alcoholic fatty liver. And it's really interesting because we technically don't know where it's coming from. Why are all these people suddenly being diagnosed, right, with non-alcoholic
That don't
fatty
drink. That don't drink.
that don't drink,
Right.
exactly, or who didn't have like hep, right, to damage their liver. But it's really boiling down to two things. It's the amount of toxins that we're exposed to. The liver cannot keep up with cleaning you out. So unfortunately, your liver acts just like a filter. So like imagine the filter on the AC, right? You would eventually take that filter out and clean it and put it back so it gets gooked up no matter what. And the liver functions exactly the same way. And we need to be able to do things to actually clear the liver out. And one of the things that will happen is like if you can't get any of the toxins out of your system, or if it's like too much that the filter is getting blocked up, it will actually do what the AC filter is and like build that shield, or not a shield, but a level of gook, and your body has to surround it in fat.
Wow.
So anything that we don't know how to process, your body says, I don't know what to do with this. I'm going to wrap it up and put it somewhere until I can deal with it. And that's what your body will do. And it does that with the liver as well. So we're seeing, again, a really drastic increase of people who have non-alcoholic fatty liver. There's two things to fix it. You have to get methylated B vitamins. If you take
like B12. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't know my phone was on. Sorry about that. Okay.
So I'm not really a fan of taking like B12 singularly, because I always say that the Bs are in a very codependent relationship and they all need each other. So you're better off taking a full B complex. Always go for a B complex. But you want to get a methylated B because it takes all the pressure off of the liver. The liver's job is to convert B vitamins and then use them for your functions. So if you get a methylated version, you're taking away a big step that the liver has to complete, and it's just easier for the body to do. So get methylated Bs, it will support your liver, and then you got to clean out. So, and actually right now I just started a 14-day detox yesterday. It's not like a super crazy detox, but what I'm doing is specifically supporting what's called phase 2 detox, which clears out the gook from your body and your liver.
So do you understand what she's saying, what you should do?
Yes. So what is your detox? Are you taking like a milk thistle or?
No, I actually, one of my favorite supplement companies is Designs for Health, and they made this kit called the Paleo Cleanse Detox Kit. And it basically mimics the nutrient content that we had in Paleolithic times. So before we messed up all our food, before we changed our diet, before we did all of that stuff, and we were eating more fish and natural things from the earth, it mimics all of that nutrition profile. And then there's 2 supplements in there that literally, one supports phase 1 detox, which is when you take the gook out of the cell. And then the second supplement supports phase 2 detox, which is when the liver converts it to be sent out of the body. So I'm literally clearing out my liver right now as we speak. And the really cool thing about that, and the reason that I wanted to do it, both my husband and I are doing it, is I'm on a board for autism awareness in Jersey. And we're doing a big event actually on April 5th for autism awareness at the Essex College, the new campus of Essex College. And I'm doing a ton of research because I'm going to be presenting at that event. And everything, it's so crazy, but literally autism boils down to 2 things: high presence of toxins and high presence of the metabolites that those toxins create.
But what about a child that's born with autism, that's autistic?
It comes from your mother.
Really?
It comes from your mother. And it's not because of like, of course there's some genetic components in there, but it basically is.
So what is this? What is all the controversy about with the vaccines? They don't vaccine the child. It's going to give the child autism.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot of controversy.
Yes,
with that.
100%. I do know. It's a very difficult conversation because I think that the hardest part of having that conversation is recognizing that there's 2 truths that are at play. The first truth is that vaccines have been effective in the past, right? And we can't deny that vaccines have been effective.
Well, when
right?
I grew up or when I raised my kids, it was mandatory you have to have vaccines because it prevented measles, mumps, rubella, polio.
Right.
But now they're saying no. But if we didn't have vaccines, where would we be?
I don't think, and see, that's the thing. It's like, I think that vaccines were necessary for certain things, like polio and measles and those kinds of things. But we're vaccinating for everything under the sun.
Too much vaccines.
And that's the problem. There's too many vaccines on the schedule.
Okay.
We're vaccinating for chickenpox.
Right.
I had chickenpox.
So did I.
Yes.
We all had chickenpox.
We all had chickenpox, right? You get a couple bumps, you get itchy, you move on. Why are we vaccinating for it? And the problem with vaccinations is all the new vaccines that have come out have not gone through safety testing.
Right.
And I don't think that people really understand the impact of that, especially with like an RNA vaccine. You're putting something in your body that you're saying, it's okay that you change my genetic coding. That's what RNA vaccines do. So and we don't know what the long-term effect of those things are going to be. So it's difficult because, again, we had vaccines in the past that worked very well,
Right.
but they were made completely differently, and they have years of information behind them. The stuff that we're putting in our kids now, we don't know. Like, we straight up don't know. And the thing is, as more information comes out, the hardest part about vaccines for me is that moms in this country are being silenced. They're being told, no, you're crazy. It's in your head. You're stupid. There's no way that could be true. But you're a mom. If something happened to your child, you would know it immediately.
Of course.
You would know. If you put something in my child's body and the next day he's not right, you would know. And that's the thing. It's like moms are being silenced, and they have been. And finally, they have a voice now where we can have these conversations and talk about it. But it's really difficult. I think connecting it back to autism, the vaccines are making the situation worse. And one of the things that people don't realize about toxic load is that you're born with the load that your mom has. So let's say your mom accumulated a toxic load of 10 in her life, you're born with a 10. And then when you accumulate 10 in your life, your children are going to be born with a 20. So if we go back through generations, what is the load that we're already born with? And we're seeing the results of that, because this next generation of children that are coming up have a lot more health issues than any other generation that we've seen. You know, and
which is scary.
It's terrifying.
It's very, very scary. And also there's a big issue in the country with, I'm on the border right now of type 2 diabetes, which a lot of times that does come with age, and a lot of times it comes with inherited, like my mom
genetics.
Genetics. My mom was a diabetic, and but my A1C1 was still a little bit high. So is it really meaning cutting out sugar, cutting out starches, or watching everything and still you have the A1C1 high? What do you say about that?
So if you're pre-diabetic and you're watching everything that you eat and you don't consume like a ton of sugar.
I don't.
Right? It's movement.
What does that mean?
You're missing enough movement to burn the sugar.
I do.
She moves a lot.
I do maybe 10 to 15, 18,000 steps a day.
18?
Yes, I move. Yes, a lot.
She moves quite a bit.
I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm walking my dog for 45 minutes. I'm helping my daughter with 3 kids.
Wow.
I have a big property. I'm walking outside. I'm walking around the cul-de-sac. Yes.
It's like I told you too before we started the show. She moves a lot. She may swing at me.
I move a lot.
Throw punches at me. There's a lot of movement that goes on in my family.
I mean, it's, they say 7, the number 7 for A1C1, you're diabetic and you need medicine. I'm under that, but like he said, you guys still watch. So I am Italian. I love my pizza. I love that stuff.
But hereditarily, you should be able to eat all of that.
Yeah.
Right? The problem is the processed sugar.
So
right?
So you're saying movement will burn it more?
Well, movement, in your case, I don't know how much more you can move, right? But I mean, there's so many different reasons for diabetes, right? And also high blood pressure. Like you said,
I have high blood pressure. Yep.
It could be genetic. But then I asked the question, what are your genes looking like, right? So is it like a pancreatic insufficiency? Is it like I just hold too much sugar?
It could be genetic, because all my sisters now are diabetic, but because my mother was diabetic, but they're not going to watch how I watch. They're just different.
Right. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you have any like digestive issues?
No.
Do you feel like if you eat like something fatty, do you feel like it bothers you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like I can't eat what I used to eat, for instance. I can't eat late. I can't eat like a steak or a big burger. It's hard for me to digest it.
Do you feel like you're like you're burping it up, or you feel like it's sitting?
I just feel like it's sitting. I'm
sitting.
not digesting it.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to eat that. But if I eat it early part of the day and walk a lot, then I'm good. But I can't eat it the later part of the day.
So my number one recommendation for you right now would be to get pancreatic enzymes.
Okay.
Because your pancreas does a lot, right?
Yeah.
It does a lot more than just producing insulin. When you can take the pressure off the pancreas digestively, now it can focus on actually regulating your blood sugar. And sometimes when it has to do both, like one thing takes a back seat because it's like, well, I know that I'm going to live if this goes up to 7. So
Right.
let me put all my efforts in the digestion. But if you are able to take that pressure off, then it'll be able to focus on the blood sugar.
So what exactly is a pancreatic enzyme?
There's a lot of different ones. There's like lipases, bromelains, like stuff like that. But pancreatic enzyme includes kind of a mix of different.
Do they come in a pill form, a
They
powder?
do, yeah,
Okay.
they do.
Oh, so
they come in a
I
capsule.
should take that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where I get it at the health store?
So I'm super biased when it comes to supplementation,
Okay.
only because there's a lot of garbage on the market. You know, one of my favorite companies is Designs for Health. They literally make a supplement called Pancreatic Enzyme Plus.
So you'll write everything down for me before
Sure,
you leave.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, but they make a lot of different enzymes. But you can also get, like, if you go to like the vitamin shop,
Yeah.
they have like a lot of digestive enzymes available.
Okay.
And pretty much any enzyme is going to work for you. If you don't have, like, do you ever get heartburn?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
So if you
I'm
get,
always taking like Rolaids or Tums.
okay, so that's super telling. It means that you don't have enough enzymatic support going to your gut. And that comes from insufficient bile and insufficient pancreatic enzymes. So if you don't have enough bile going to your lower GI tract, your stomach will overproduce acid to compensate.
Yeah.
So when you get the digestive enzyme, I'll definitely write one down for you. But when you get the
One
digestive
time it was
enzyme,
so bad, I went to the ER. They thought it was a heart attack because it was, and it
Coming
wasn't.
up in
Yeah.
here,
Yes. Yeah.
So here's what I like.
You'll
about,
write it all down.
yes,
Yeah.
Here's what I like about having you on the show today. So
Sure.
I'm one of those guys where I try to take the natural way of healing the body, opposed to a lot of times when you go to the doctor, they prescribe pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's, some of the ways of modern medicine, it's that there's a lot of stuff out there these days where there's natural remedies to healing the body with foods and with sometimes
And
with
supplements.
and with supplements to correct an issue. I myself could attest to that based on the fact that a couple of years ago I was going to the doctor trying to figure out what was wrong. I had low energy levels and I wasn't feeling good, and there were different issues. A lot of it had to do with diet and sleep. I mean, stuff as simple as diet and sleep.
sleep.
I was exercising, so it wasn't exercise, and I
Yeah.
wasn't really eating the worst, but what I was eating,
yeah,
and how it was affecting my particular body, wasn't working. So, and unfortunately, you go to the doctor, and they don't not tell you the stuff that we're talking about today.
100%.
Leaky gut. What do you know about? I know about leaky gut because I believe I had it. You know what I mean? Doctors don't prescribe it, but I see this guy Gundry with all of these videos. I end up with all of the symptoms. Okay, I have all of the symptoms. I'm not feeling well. That was the issue I believe I had. And so now I start following the advice and just assume I have the leaky gut issue. And I start watching what I eat, particularly with the lectins, because I'd eat the lectins and my joints would get swollen and I'd have bloating of the stomach. And so when I really tried to reduce the lectins, I believe it healed the leaky gut after I did that for
100%.
so long. And now I could actually eat some of these types of foods, whether it be tomatoes or eggplant. I try not to overdo it,
Yeah.
but I could eat it without the joint pain and without the bloating of the stomach and so on and so forth. But for some reason, doctors don't seem to be
Because
talking
I
about
think
leaky gut.
because I think what happens, it's big pharma. The doctors write the prescription. The doctor gets perks from the pharmaceutical company that made that prescription. So you write out so many prescriptions,
Yep.
and I'm going to give you a trip for your family.
Yep.
But it's also how the doctors are trained. It's also how they're taught in
100%.
school. It's not.
Right.
It's not just okay. We're going to write a prescription because we want to.
But that's
some
all
perks.
they ever do is write prescriptions. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken
That is
leg.
how.
Right,
That is how
right.
they're taught. And listen, we need doctors for certain things.
Yes.
I don't
100%,
want. I don't want to
100%.
totally knock doctors.
No,
'cause we
I'm
need
not
them.
knocking them. We do need them. I
But
mean, I
there is
rely
ano-
on
there
them.
is another side to this. of what she practices, and that other side is there are homeopathic, there are natural.
But it's not homeopathic. What
No,
what she's saying, what I would love to see, is someone like her with her background in most doctors' offices that are general practitioner doctors, like my family doctor. When I go in, instead of prescribing something, why don't you talk to, my nutrition therapist? Speak with her and let her go over my chart, and let's try it that way. That's what I think should really.
That's a great idea. That might be the future of modern medicine. 'Cause
I
in reality,
sincerely hope that that's the future.
Don't you think that would be better?
Absolutely.
I would love
absolutely
to have my doctor say, sit with her.
Yeah.
We give her my chart. This is what she was just diagnosed from me and from her blood work. And let's try with her before we put her on medication.
Honestly, that's literally my number one goal in life, is to advocate for that. Because if we had that, and I say this all the time, if we combined our medical system with people like me,
yes,
we would literally be like the most unstoppable country on the planet.
And everyone would grow
exactly and be healthy.
Right. And that's what I would like to see.
And feel better.
So blueberries. Nobody ever tells you the benefits of blueberries. Blueberries, the anti-inflammatory properties of blueberries.
Strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, they're all good.
They're all good. Blueberries has a healing component in it that's a specific antioxidant that helps with leaky gut and helps you close up the issues in the villi. But yeah, nobody talks about it.
Also the anti-inflammatory properties. If you're working out, you got joint pain, the blueberries.
Eat blueberries.
It's like a miracle.
I mean, I just think this is so enlightening. I'm like so glad you came on the show.
Thanks.
Because it's just like, it's really something that I'm so interested in, because everybody wants to feel better and get better and not just be taking medication.
Yeah, and I think that that's a big part of like my message is you have options. Like, you have options. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to take a ton of medication.
Right.
I meet people every day that are on 5, 6, 7 meds. They feel worse than they ever did before. They spend 6 weeks with me, and we get them off of almost everything.
That's wonderful.
And it's, I honestly, sincerely love what I do. And like you were saying, it's not that there's not a place for medicine. There is definitely a place for medicine. But I think that the problem is that we took this model that is crisis care, and we said, let's make that the marker for our health care. This is how we're going to care for our health. But there's a lot of space between a healthy person, a person in crisis. This is where all of us are. And we don't have any interventions here, right? It's either this or nothing. And this is the part where people like me come in, right? It's like, I want to keep you from this place of crisis. If you go to the doctor, you're going to get crisis intervention,
right,
which is medication, surgeries, whatever else, right? It's not that those things are bad. They're bad if they're overused and abused.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing with Big Pharma. We're handing out medications like candy and not looking at the repercussions of what's going on with that.
Really what's going on. Before we close out, what would you like to have the audience know? And, if you want to address the audience and let the audience know where they could find you, how to reach you, if they have any questions for you.
Thanks. So my name is Amanda Chinkan. If you put into Google Amanda Chinkan Nutrition, I'll come right up. I have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. My phone number is on my Google listing because I genuinely love what I do. And I think the message for you, if I had one, is you have so many more options than you think. Your body wants to be healthy. It just needs the right things to be put into place to get there. And if you are interested in that, please give me a call, because I will help you lose weight, correct your symptoms, get your body back on track. And one of the things that I think I went through personally with doing this journey is I feel like I was finally able to meet myself. I was finally able to figure out who Amanda really is deep down and what she actually wants. And I was able to actually go get it.
I love that.
Now that I'm healthy,
I love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on. This was so enlightening.
Thanks.
It helped me. And we're going to talk after break so I can get all the info.
Okay.
Do you have anything to say to her?
It was a pleasure to have you on today. I'm big into this because I'm a little bit of a health freak.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate having you here today. It was great to have you.
Thank you, Jesus. I always like to thank the higher above
Me too.
to give me that blessing. Please tune in, subscribe, press the subscribe button, and we will see you next time.
Hit that button.
Thank you.
The subscribe button. Hit it. God
Thank
bless.
you. All right, I want you to write down.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
Oh wait, take some pictures. Come here, Amanda. Here's the phone. Take my phone. Let her get in the middle, Toby, so I could promote.
Let's see how it looks up top. How's that?
Wait. Okay. There you go. Thank you.
This was great. It was very, very educational, which I love.
Thanks.
Okay, came great.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's go.